So when we had last left you guys, the Deus had just given you his big speech and then vanished. And all of the and a fair number of the players are looking around very confused. A number of them are looking kind of freaked out and scared. A bunch of them don't seem to believe it. They think it's all just part of the game. But there's a fair amount of what the fuckery going on.
Yeah, but didn't you say that the log out thing had disappeared from our menu?
Yes. Yeah, you are no longer able to log out, and Deus said that he has killed. The question is several players that were disconnected. There is nearly 1,000 players kind of looking around in turmoil. Confirmed that. You are standing in a fairly good size, like a town square. Although it's not square, it's circular. Most of Ravensport seems to be laid out in a kind of a circular pattern. There's a good-sized fountain in the middle, and then there's this big open area, which is where you guys were all summoned to when whatever happened with Deus happened. But you can see a fair number of buildings around you that look to be shops, or you can see what looks to be a blacksmith's building. So this is probably like the town square, town market area for Ravensport. From when you were walking in, it seems like most villages, most of your commerce is in the center, and then as you go out, you start getting some of the residential areas and a lot of farms. Most of Ravensport's actual villagers seem to be farmers of some sort. So what do you want to do?
Is there an inn?
Yes, probably. Looking around, there appears to be a couple of buildings that look to be inns.
I'm going to walk up to the nearest guard.
Okay.
And poke him.
All right. Yes, you see somebody that is standing there wearing a suit of silver armor, and he's got a black tabard that has a silver raven on it. And he is standing at attention. Well, not at attention, but he's standing there.
Poke him in the chest and ask him where the nearest inn is.
He says, "Oh, well, if you want an inn, the closest one probably is the Golden Horizon. It's right over there." And he points at a building out towards the western side of the area here. And you see a 3-story building with a placard hanging out front that has an image on it that looks like a golden sun coming up over the horizon.
I'll head that way.
Okay. The rest of you going with him, or?
Yes, because that might be a place where we could find more information out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Considering we're all stuck here.
I was about to say, I got nothing better to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys head towards there. Looks like, as you start walking that way, it looks like a fair number of people had the same idea that Jeff did and are talking to guards. And you can see groups of people heading in different directions. A fair number of them seem to be heading towards the various, what look to be the various trainer areas. There's one building that is very obviously your general store, and it looks like a lot of players are heading there. But there is a large group heading towards the inn as well. So you were one of maybe 50 people heading towards this inn. So, all right. As you crowd your way into the inn, it is got a long bar area, seating for maybe about 30 people, 40 people. And then there's probably rooms on the second and third floor, and probably some here on the first floor as well. There is a waitress standing there. She's kind of mulling around, and behind the counter you can see two individuals. One of them he's kind of a stout individual, dark hair. He's wearing an apron over his clothing, and then next to him you can see a blonde woman wearing a dress. She's currently looks like she's cleaning some cups or something like that, some glasses. And she's a fairly attractive blonde girl.
She's spitting in the glasses before she cleans them?
No, she's not spitting in the glasses.
This is far too reputable a place for me.
They look up as the crowd starts pouring in. So, it seems to be our busy time. What can we do for you?
Wine in a room.
Okay. All right. You guys got there first. So we'll say you got there first. So you are the first ones in line. All right. A room will be 1 gold piece per person per night, and it'll be 1 silver for the wine.
Make that a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine. That will be 2 gold. As soon as you hand him over the money for the room, you get a little pop-up. And the little pop-up window asks if you would like to set your recall stone to this inn.
Why, yes, I would.
This sounds like a great idea.
As soon as you do that, and that'll go for anybody else. As soon as you pay money for the room, apparently you've got to each individually pay.
Okay.
But as soon as you pay for the room, you get the little pop-up. Once you click yes, an item appears in your inventory. That is a recall stone. And the item text says that it will allow you to, using this item, will recall you to the last inn that you saved your location to. So yes, it's basically a Hearthstone.
Good to know.
Although it does say that it does look to be a one-use item, so it looks like every time you need to get a new one. So you'll need to renew it after you use it.
Ugh, this game sucks.
Heaven forbid. But it is a way for you to, I guess, fast travel to some extent. They have a small menu with some basic items on it. Some real basic food items, some drinks, basically ale and wine.
Well, since we're done ordering, I'm going to go find a place next to the fireplace.
Okay. You go and sit down.
Are the chairs and benches activatable?
They're not really. You actually sit down like you normally would.
Okay.
You can pull them out and move them around and actually sit in them. After a minute or so after you sit down, the blonde woman comes over. And she's like, excuse me, you folks look like you're adventurers. Are you planning to venture forth into the world now that the dome has come down?
But of course, good lady, of course.
She's like, oh, excellent. She's like, we've been hoping for somebody like, we've been hoping for this day, that this day would come. My name is Gira.
What a surprise.
My name is Gira Worth. My husband and I own this inn. And my husband once found the diary of a merchant from Old Ravensport in the days before the Twilight. In it, the merchant described a hidden safe deep within the tunnels of some labyrinth he dwelled in called the Metro. I have no clue if the safe or this labyrinth survived the Twilight War, but if it did, there should be more journals inside a safe that should be invaluable to us. So please, if you would, if in your travels you head north to where downtown Ravensport once stood, maybe you could see if you could find the entrance to this metro. If there are any landmarks left, this map may guide you, and this combination will allow you access to the safe. Bring me the journals, and you may keep any other treasure you find there. And as soon as she finishes saying that, a little pop-up pops up saying, with Expedition to Old Ravensport quest. Quest giver Gareth Worth. Basically gives a description that was what she just recited. And the goal is to find and explore the ruins of the Ravensport Metro. Locate the office manager's safe, retrieve the contents, and return them to Gareth Worth. And then there's a check, a little thing that says accept, yes, no.
Are we still in a group? Am I still a group leader?
Yes.
I will invite Dan to the group.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, you logged in a little bit late and ended up with a different group.
So I'll invite Dan before I click accept and see if it does a group accept.
All right, I will accept and kind of look around, wondering who actually invited me.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's rude. I wave.
Well, I grab the tankard of whatever is appropriate for the game, and walk towards the group and see it and go. So, I'm not dreaming this, right?
No, but please tell me I guessed right when you look like a healer.
Yes, I am wearing the garbs of my trade, my religion.
I'm wearing the garb of my people.
Thank you. I'm glad to have somebody watching my back.
All right. So, no, the quest pops up for everybody individually. So, everybody has to accept it. Well, not everybody. Everybody doesn't have to accept it, but, you know. It just would mean they're going along for the ride and not getting the quest rewards.
No, I will accept it.
Okay. It's like 100 beers. All right. Ale is 1 silver piece each. So, I'll let you know what happens as you as you start drinking beer. All right. All right, Tetski, you drink a couple of beers. After the first couple, you're starting to feel a little tipsy. There are no scrolls of Animate Dead for you to buy. For every beer you drink from here on out, make a 2d12 plus double your endurance roll. Target number is 20, and every beer you drink after this is a -1 to that roll. Let me know when you after you fail 3, you fall unconscious. So Tetski's proceeding to check out the to check out the drunk mechanics.
I'm gonna try the end food.
Well, you're drinking a ton. You're not getting. You notice you're not really getting full. I mean, you feel satisfied after drinking one, but it doesn't particularly. But the more you drink, doesn't seem to be filling you up anymore or anything like that. You're not like getting to that point where I can't drink anymore because I'm too sloshed or too full. But you are feeling a little.
Tetsu's going to let us discover whether or not this game uses bathrooms.
Oh boy.
But yes, you are feeling a little tipsy. Your speech is starting to slur as you talk, and everything's a little fuzzy. So it looks like they did code in some sort of drunk mechanic. All right, somebody else had a question. Sorry, Jeff. I think that was you.
When he starts walking around, I want to see how much changes his his movement animation. All
right.
Does he roll?
Are you going to get up and walk around? All right. Yes. You're starting to kind of bumble around a little bit. No, you actually do not need to pee. The game does. I'll tell you now. The game does not have bathroom mechanics in it.
That begs the question: are we anatomically correct, or are we Barbies?
Are you gonna strip and check?
No, I'm gonna just kind of look down.
Hard to tell. There goes your attempts to put out the fires you start. Jesus. After fumbling around a little bit, Jeff, you realize that, yes, you are anatomically correct, of sorts. There is no dong slider, though, because this is not Age of Conan.
Is it not Conan?
But it does require a little bit of work, because you have MMO underwear on that doesn't want to come off unless you. But if you fumble with it enough, a little pop-up comes up and asks if you would like to. It asks if you would like to disable the decency code.
Yes.
I'm keeping it on. I got way too much shit on my mind to worry about. Just like, really.
All right. Fortunately for everybody else, Jeff trying to take off his underwear does not affect you guys at all, because your decency codes are still on. So as far as you're concerned, Jeff is still wearing underwear.
Yeah, it's like this is not something. And just in my mind, it's like, boys will be boys. They want to see if they actually have a ding-a-ling in game. Well, I'm thinking, he's like, I'm stuck in a game. I want to get the fuck out.
I was wondering how long it would take somebody to ask this question, by the way.
Yeah, no, my character's been pretty wary the whole time. But at this point right now, there's just a few too many people to start voicing too many concerns.
Yeah, I mean, if Deus took over Bull, he could take over anybody in the game.
That is a good question. You don't know. So, one of the things that is in the game is there is a... for anybody who has not ordered food yet, you do realize you are getting kind of hungry.
I will order bread.
Okay, you order bread. Yeah, because there is an eating mechanic in the game. Yeah, there's specific times a day you have to eat, and if you don't, you start getting hunger debuffs, which will reduce your endurance until you eat. Hunger is okay. Yeah, it's 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. Hunger is triggered by by server time, not the length of time between eating. And eating multiple meals has no effect, although you can eat. Sam, how many beers have you had so far? Okay, so not too bad. You decided not to try getting passed out drunk. As a note, what you ordered was Ravensport Ale, and Ravensport Ale does have a stack size of 100. So
Damn.
You can throw it. Yeah, you can keep it in your backpack or in your rat skin pouch.
All right, me, I'm going to be going with soup, a hunk of bread, 1 glass of wine, and a thing of water.
Stack size of benefits. What do you mean? Some things give benefits. They give bonuses, but stack size is how many of the items you can put in a single bag slot. So something that stacks to 100 means you can put 100 of them in one single bag slot. But if you have 101, it'll take up 2 bag slots. That's what stack size means. So yes, you have 94 more beers that you can put in your backpack or your rat skin pouch, and they take up 1 slot.
My mischief pouch.
Your mischief pouch, yeah, the mischief
And
of rats.
the bag has 6 slots, right?
Yes, and then your backpack has 12, I believe, by default. Your basic backpack.
We have both.
Yes, you have a backpack, and then you have 2 bag slots that you can equip. So right now you've got 1 6-slot bag equipped. So it basically gives you 18 slots of storage. So keep in mind that pretty much every item that you carry, or stack of items, if it stacks, takes up 1 slot. So space is something to pay attention to.
Pretty much, I'm actually seeing if, depending on what kind of food you get, if you go something a little bit more like you would actually order, like say at a Ren fair, like soup, a hunk of bread, wine, and water. I'm seeing if there's actually synergy bonuses for these.
Okay. So you're going to order several different things?
Well, something that would actually sound like a regular meal.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm seeing how in depth the mechanics, and see if there are weird synergy bonuses that we might be able to find and then exploit.
Okay. Well, they have ale and they have wine and water to drink. Mm-hmm. And you could order stew, bread, and they have chicken, grilled chicken, on the menu.
Yep. So soup, bread, glass of wine, and water. And I'm seeing what kind of if you get a synergy bonus with this.
Okay. Experimenting around with the different combinations there a little bit. You do not seem to. It looks like basic food is just basic food. One of the things you notice, as you guys are eating and drinking, is that the store-bought food seems to be a little bland. The beer tastes like really, really crappy, cheap beer. We're talking like, Iron City beer or Milwaukee's Beast.
Natty Boh.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Something just really kind of not impressive. And the same thing with the foods. They don't seem to have any real seasoning or any real strong flavor or anything to them. They're just kind of...
Why everything tastes like chicken.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. Like, the stew actually tastes like stew. It just seems like a really, really soft, mellow flavor, if that makes sense. Just a real light...
Nursing home stew?
Yeah, kind of. It's just bland.
Hey, gee, I wonder if crafted food tastes better.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question.
Now, so a quick question on the exchange rate. 10 for 1 on everything?
Yes. Yeah, it's 10 copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold. If you pull up your status menu, there is a clock that does seem to be set to... it's showing the server time, but the server time seems to be set to Eastern Standard Time, like when you logged in. Because you guys, it feels like you've been in-game now for about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it is currently showing, and the game launched at 8 p.m. The night it started. It was a Monday at 8 p.m. was when the alpha started. And looking at the in-game clock, it is currently 9:30, so it has gotten dark outside. So it's up to you guys what you want to do.
Well, are we actually feeling any fatigue?
A little bit.
Because I, for one, would really like to get out of this mental trap. That means I got to kill some rats in the basement, so be it.
I'm going to try the sleep mechanic. See if it just instantly goes to the next morning.
Okay. You head up to your room. It appears that in rooms are instanced, although you can invite other people into your room if you would like. Because while the inn looks like it maybe has 20 rooms total, but there's way more people that got hotel rooms in rooms than you guys. But there seems to be enough rooms for everybody. And in fact, all of your keys point towards the same room, but when you use the key on the room, it opens to a different room. If that makes sense.
It's the infinite hotel scenario, in other words.
Yeah, basically. Basically, every one of you has your own instance of a inn room. And it's basically a simple 8x10 with a bed. There's a small chest for some temporary storage. And that's about it.
I'm going to examine the recall stone.
Okay.
Does it have any clear mechanic? Like, is it grayed out? Is it glowing?
Nothing specific. When you call it up from your menu and hold it, it's basically just a small round stone.
Okay.
It's a small round stone with a rune on it.
Okay.
It's got a small rune, but you get a quest. You get a little pop-up that gives you the item information, and it tells you. It says it's a unique item. The name of the item shows as a white item, which is a common item. Not that really matters. Its value. It doesn't seem to have a value listed, so probably not something you can sell.
Makes sense.
It does list it as bound, which means it is bound to your character permanently. Or it means you can't give it to somebody else, and they if you give it to somebody else, they can't use it. And it says use recall to the last inn that you saved your location to. This item is destroyed on use. Okay.
If I touch it.
Touching it, nothing happens. It looks like you actually have to.
The outside of the safe zone.
Well, no, you could probably use it here. You have to basically to use something like this, you have to basically pop open a little window and hit use.
And if I pop open that window, is the use item even enabled?
Yes.
Okay, so I can burn it accidentally.
Well, you could, but it takes a couple steps to do so. Not easy enough. You're not going to just, accidentally fumble into it and use it. You actually have to open the window and click on the button. Like you just did. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's what my character was trying to figure out in his room there is this always active, or is this a context sensitive item?
It seems to be, for the moment at least, it seems to be always active. Sam, what are you doing?
Well,
you're still feeling a little tipsy and full of liquid ale.
Now that I'm full of piss and vinegar, I'm gonna go fight something.
All right, what are you gonna go fight?
Head outside of town, see what I can find.
No, dude, activate PvP.
I don't know there's PvP yet.
Only one way to find out.
Give it some time. Yes, the only hardcore melee character in the group.
All right. You step outside. Okay, we'll come back to you. Joules, what are you up to?
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact is that we're still I know I'm stuck in a simulation. The best thing to do is to learn the rules of the game, and also learn, because we've all seen it, speed runs that exploit glitches, stuff like that. And I actually know how to test for, observe and test for that kind of stuff. So, I'm just watching everybody else and just making mental notes. It's like, oh, right, regular food, you buy the stuff, no synergy bonuses. Okay, I'm just right now trying to familiarize myself with the rules of the game, plus any type mechanics. So if someone's going to be going fighting, I'm going to go out, hide, and take notes.
Okay. It looks like Dan, what is your character's name?
Strychnine Commando.
That's right. All right. Strychnine Commando and Besligr appear to have gone upstairs, probably to their rooms.
Mm-hmm.
After I played with, I only went into the room to test the stone. I'd probably come back out and see, because again, I'm at this point very anxious to get started. I want to get the hell out of here.
Okay. All right. Oh, so he comes back down after a few minutes. Tetski has been drinking. Yeah. Is kind of he's kind of stumbling a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad. 6 beers, you can handle 6 beers.
I did it in the course of 5 minutes.
Well, there's that. Yeah, but you only missed one of your endurance tests so far. So
it's an average Scotch squad meeting, is what you're saying.
yes, it is.
Bull, I I'm noticing some mechanic issues here. If I get to an appropriately high enough level with an appropriately high enough fortitude, I'm going to drink the world.
Potentially. That's
Why,
okay.
It's a virtual world with no scarcity. All right.
And as I'll go ahead and tell you now. Eventually, you'll find higher level alcohols if that's what it takes.
There you go.
I'm going to hang out in the main area where the other people are and just listen in and see if there's any other information I can gather from others talking. Because
Okay.
I assume there's other groups like us.
Yes.
Same boat.
There are a handful of other groups that are sitting around at the various tables. Because, like I said, there was about 50 people that came into the inn all at once, right behind you guys. So there's a good crowd of people in here. So you're going to hang in the inn and listen in and try to see what you can learn. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, so let's loop back around. We've got Joules, Sam, and Dan are going outside. So we'll deal with them. Jeff, you go upstairs and you lay down and to sleep. And as soon as you lay down to sleep, you're instantly asleep. We will come back to you later.
Sweet.
That's really
Ooh,
convenient.
there might be interesting dream mechanics.
I wish I could do that in real life. This is my one true fantasy, is to be able to lay down and fall instantly asleep.
So who's getting into the fight?
I didn't know that you guys were going to start a fight.
Somebody said they were going to start a fight. I'm out here for a fight.
I was going to go hunting for monsters.
Okay. All right. The three of you guys step outside of the inn, outside of the Golden Horizon. There are still a fair number of people standing around outside of the in the commons area here in the village, milling about, discussing things. But it looks like there's a couple of groups that are starting to argue. And it seems like they're arguing over whether or not they believe what Deus said. And a few of them are saying things like, it doesn't really matter, we're stuck here, we can do whatever we want. A couple of them are saying, we should just kind of hole up and stay put. And a couple of them are saying that, a couple of them start saying stuff like, no, if you die, you just are going to get logged out. That's how we get out of this game. They couldn't really kill us. That wouldn't really happen. And two of the guys that are arguing about this start shoving each other. And this is about the time you guys are approaching.
All right.
Do you want to do anything, or do you want to watch?
Me, it's like I said, we're in a computer simulation. I'm studying the hitboxes.
Right. I'm specifically thinking Tetski and Dan.
Ah.
They're the troublemakers.
Maybe a little. What? How loud are they being? Are they just like arguing and yelling at themselves, or are they really causing a scene?
They're starting to cause a little bit of a scene. So, do you want to watch, or do you want to intervene, or do you want to just leave them be?
That doesn't help a damn lick.
What's that?
I rolled. I was going to go high-low, but it gave me a 1 and a 12.
That's funny.
I walk right through their argument.
Okay.
I pay it no mind.
Alrighty. You just gotta be. They're like, hey, watch where you're going, and one of them kind of gives you a half shove.
I immediately regret hitching my wagon to his star.
Yes, you do. Yeah, one of them looks like he's kind of a burly warrior-looking type. Kind of gives you a shove and says, hey, watch where you're going.
I slur loudly at him.
Yes, you do.
I suspect at this point the alcohol's really taken hold and no one can understand a damn thing I'm saying.
Alright, so slur your words.
Oh man.
He just looks at you and kind of, damn drunk.
And I'm pointing accusatorily.
It's like, damn drunk, and he goes back to his
one in
friend.
the middle.
As he turns back to the guy he was arguing with, the guy he was arguing with hauls back and slugs him. Just sucker punches him.
I do the appropriate Jerry Springer reaction. Ooh!
Damn.
He punches him. The guy sprawls out on the ground. Immediately, several of the town guard, come just. They almost kind of appear next to you guys and start yelling, "No fighting in town! No fighting in town!" and start breaking things up. Immediately the town guard show up, and it looks like they're not going to allow fighting in town.
Are they approaching the aggressor here with the intention? Like, are they approaching him wielding their weapons, or are they just kind of rushing at him?
They just sort of rush at him for now. You're not sure what would happen if they escalated things, but...
I'm going to walk over to the guy who took the sucker punch.
Yeah.
And can I get any kind of stats on him? Like, do I see a life bar on him?
If you hover over him?
Yeah.
Or well, not hover over him, but yeah, you can kind of focus on him. Yeah, you can get a basic. You can see his red bar looks to be. It looks mostly full. Looks like he took just a tick of damage.
Okay.
From the punch. Tetski gets drunker.
Just standing there.
Yeah, you take another drink and yeah, it kind of hits you pretty hard. The guards basically just break up the fight. As a note, Tetski, you are currently at a -4 to all tests, other than your getting drunk test.
Oh, dang.
But, on the other side, going and finding those monsters and fighting them sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dan.
I'm going to level up anyway.
Dan and Joules. Tetski takes another drink, starts stumbling a little harder, and then goes, "Let's go get some monsters!" And starts...
No, hold on.
Alright, you okay, you say it like you say it.
So, and then I just run being a subjective term.
Yes.
Towards the gate.
I will look in Joules' direction and go, drug.
Well, let's see what happens when somebody is stupid in game.
So how far does Sam get before finding the first monster?
Alright, give me a second. I need to
Sure.
set something up. Because I wasn't quite expecting this.
Since you weren't here last time, Dan, just be warned, a bunch of giant rats comes running at you. Haul ass.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard that. I heard the backstory there. So.
Bull, if you want me to pass out shit-faced drunk, I can make that happen before I hit the gate.
It would probably be better for you.
Okay. Hold on, let's see how far I get. I say if I get through 5 more, then we're going outside. Nope, I'm down.
Alright.
He gets completely and totally wrecked.
Yep.
You know,
And he's out.
that recall stone.
Yeah, he finally, he takes a couple more drinks and then just collapses. So,
Well, that's hilarious.
alright, let's...
You look just as stupid drunk in the digital world as you do in real world. Nice!
And it looks like the ground's got pretty good hit detection, so...
Mm-hmm.
Again, I will go up to Sam's character and examine him for damage. Alright, drunkie, let's get to the bed.
Alright, should be able to see some of them out now.
I see a building.
You're lucky, man.
Well, it should be a set of green,
Got a nice hex map.
yeah.
Oh, yep, no, I see it.
If there were P mechanics in this, getting me to bed would be way worse.
Okay. Basically, that's the area that the dome covered, is what's the green.
Yeah, that's a big dome.
It was about 2 mile. It was about 3 miles across. It was 3 miles circular.
Man, they want us to go north. That's the mountains to the north.
Well, not entirely there, but yeah, that's Ravensport was at one. This where you're at now is is the southern edge of what used to be. Talking to a couple of the NPCs and stuff, and from what you know of the game, Ravensport was a port city. It was on the edge of an ocean, and the area that the dome went up was on the southern edge of the city. So Ravensport proper used to be north. Since the dome has come down, however, you'll note that, but you and everybody else has noticed that where the ocean used to be, there is now the ocean and some extra, there is now a ridge of mountains that seems to have sprung up around most of the city. And outside of the mountains, or outside of the city where it's not mountains, is an area of desert. The sand is however, green. It looks like almost emerald crystals rather than sand crystals.
No, there's something you don't see every day.
Nope. But I didn't have green sandy areas, and I didn't feel like messing around with Photoshop, so the desert area that's immediately around here is supposed to be green. The mountains are really, really tall, and it's basically a cliff face around you, so the mountains are not traversable. At least not by any means you've found that anybody's seen so far from, the couple of hours that they've spent since the dome came down.
Mm-hmm.
I take a mental note and remember to start looking up black chocobo breeding.
I just make a note to look for a flying mount bender.
Okay, you guys. Are you guys going to drag Sam back to the inn then?
I am.
All right. Does anybody want to do anything else tonight? Tony, we'll come back to you here in just a second. But do you guys want to do anything else tonight, or do you just want to head to bed, hang out in the inn with Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. You guys could bring Tetski back and throw him in his room to sleep it off, and head back down to the inn. Downstairs.
Well, how is that mechanic going to work since it's one door but multiple keys? Do we just swipe his key and then toss him into the void?
Yeah, you kind of wake him up long enough to get him to get his key out.
Okay. Your key, Tetski, your key.
On the door.
You could have always thrown him into one of your rooms too. It would have worked just as well.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You don't want to come back up to a room full of vomit.
And various other
Hey, if I
bodily
can't
fluids.
pee, I can't vomit.
You never know.
Probably not, because the
Dude.
emotes aren't in yet, so.
Yeah. I mean, we've all played Saints Row, right?
Exactly. So,
Yes. All right. So you guys go back down to and hang out at the inn. You guys hang out for a couple hours, listening in. There's a lot of discussion that goes on about what happened, why you're here, what are you doing. But there doesn't seem to be any sort of consensus. It's all rumor, speculation, and it's pretty much things that you guys have probably thought of already. Outside of I'm really confused and lost. There seems to be you're getting the impression that there's a fair number of adventurers who are basically just planning not to leave town. They're kind of terrified of what's going on.
now,
What?
call him Damon there for a second. Deus had told us that we have to beat the game now, right?
He said you have to solve his specifically. Let me pull up the. Let me pull up my thingy, and I can tell you exactly what he said.
Thank you.
That would be the opening event. He didn't give you any clues.
No.
Because he was basically punishing Bull. But he said if you could run his maze, find his clues, and solve his riddles, maybe he'll let you escape. And if not, maybe you die here. He said it doesn't matter to him. Although Bull does say that he has to follow the rules of the game.
Gotcha.
So, whatever that means. Listening to the guys here, like I said, there seems to be a fair number of the adventurers who don't want to leave. Like I said, they're terrified because a lot of people are starting to suspect that there's no respawning.
Yeah.
There's no proof of that yet, but nobody's rushing out to volunteer to check that out, except maybe Sam until he drank himself into oblivion.
Every party's got to have a guinea pig.
For science.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of talk that some guys are like, well, maybe we'll just stay here and maybe I can craft stuff and sell it for money and just stay around town where it's maybe safe. There's a bunch of adventurers that are starting to group up for safety. There doesn't seem to be a guild function of any sort that anybody can find.
Doesn't matter. Our team's known as the butt kickers.
What's that?
Doesn't matter. Our team's known as the butt kickers.
Okay. I can
Not
only...
the righteous butt kickers?
Righteous butt kickers, even better.
No. We're the bros. Blessed Regiment of Strength.
The broses?
The bros. BROS. Blessed Regiment of Strength.
Okay.
Anyways.
Does anyone in the group have a strength higher than, 3?
Negative.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tetski does, because he can wear the medium armor at least right now.
I have a 6.
So it would be an ironic name to be called the Bros.
A little bit.
I'm just gonna tell you, if you do that, I'm gonna work the word bro into everything.
Oh,
Like,
God.
bro, do you even smite? It's like, no, we do not poison our bodies with toxins, and that includes toxic thoughts.
Oh, my God.
All right, so maybe righteous butt kickers is sounding better now.
No,
I think righteous
that's
butt-
true. No, it's like this is crap that we were coming up with after we've been driving for 6.5 hours. We're a little punch tired and
This is
playing
when
around doing our D&D game.
this is when a level 500 dragon shows up, hovering around Huff,
exactly.
and just breathes down and kills everybody.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I think the righteous butt kickers will be our working name.
When it was just the butt kickers, I was just picturing what your eventual tabard was going to look like.
Oh yeah,
It was just a boot and an ass.
That was my plan.
Of course it was.
I'm always thinking in terms of graphical presentation.
Nope, that's fine.
Oh god.
You do realize once you guys figure out once you guys find a good group name and come up with a symbol for it, I'm going to have to make a t-shirt for it.
I'm down.
All right.
Remind me to never pass off leadership of this party.
All right. Anyways, so there's some talk of that. It sounds like at least 2 parties that people have mentioned, at least 2 groups have already left town. Where they were going, you don't know yet. You don't have any idea, but it looks like at least 2 of them basically just took off. You also find out there are a number of quests scattered around town from the various the crafting profession trainers.
Ah, okay.
Apparently have some kind of quests that they're giving out.
Well, I guess I'll go to the tailors.
So, okay. At this point, it's by your in-game clock, it's about 11 o'clock. You guys have been here for quite a while. Heading outside, it looks like most of the vendors are closed.
Ah, damn.
So, you'll have
11 o'clock, everything's closed in this town.
the inn's still open.
Innkeeper, teach me tailoring?
No.
then they're of no use to me. All right. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah. So yeah, at this point, there doesn't seem to be any more information to get. So you probably want to call it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the opportunity to tie one on and call it a night.
All right. So, yes, once you guys lay down, there doesn't seem to be any sort of passage of time. As far as you know, you don't dream or anything like that. Just everything just sort of shuts off. Jeff, I forgot to mention when you went to bed last night that you can basically set what time you want to wake up. It's kind of like Fallout. You basically just click how many hours you're going to sleep.
8.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff, you wake up a little earlier than everybody else because you went to bed about 2 hours before everybody else did.
Perfect.
So you were up about 6 in the morning. Everybody else gets up about 8.
I'll go see what time everybody wakes up in town.
Okay, you head on out. The inn is up and running. You don't see the innkeeper or his wife, but there does seem to be a couple of a cook and a waitress setting up for breakfast.
That would be a good question. I woke up at 6, which is when I'm supposed to get hungry again.
And
we'll have to see if they get hungry as soon as they wake up, or if they don't get hungry until noon.
Okay. Yeah, you are hungry as soon as you wake up, so you are going to.
I'll go down and get whatever they're serving for breakfast.
Okay. Unless otherwise specified, a single meal or a single drink is 1 silver. So
okay.
For everything you buy, is each time you buy something, it's 1 silver. So yeah, they have some sort of like pancakes. They have pancakes. They're serving pancakes for breakfast because why not?
Yay!
Okay.
It's an MMO. It doesn't have to stick to pure fantasy foods.
Especially with the way things is like, yeah, maybe in a standard, but now this is beyond standard. It's a little weird.
Yes. All right, so yeah, you can grab some breakfast. Again, they're pancakes. There's some syrup, but the syrup is a really dull flavor, and the pancakes are kind of just bready.
Any other PCs in the inn?
Yeah, there's a few. They're eating breakfast as well.
I'm gonna bring up my party commands.
Okay.
Let's see what the max party size is.
6.
Start inviting people.
The max party size is 6.
All right. Well, I'll just add and drop somebody real quick then.
All right, you go to add somebody. You click on invite. It doesn't automatically add them. It sends them an invite to join your party. And they kind of look over at you a little funny, and they're like, "Who are you, and why are you inviting me?"
I give them the double guns.
God, with the wink and the click of the tongue.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm meeting up with some friends. He declines. But thanks for the invite, I guess. He goes back to eating his breakfast. He's sitting with a couple of folks, so it looks like that's maybe the rest of his group.
Well, I got the thing open. I'm going to look for a PvP option.
Okay. You start poking around at the menus, and yeah, if you look at somebody and you kind of look at their... you can kind of open up a status window that doesn't really tell you much information about the other person, other than their name. But it does have a challenge to a duel option.
Yeah, interesting. So not open world PvP. At least not in town.
Yeah, that might... Yeah, you're thinking... well, you weren't awake for that, so you don't know about the guards yet.
Yeah.
But once you talk to the other players, yeah, you're thinking that might be a way to circumvent... A way to do some sort of combat that circumvents the guards getting involved immediately.
That's fun. I'm just curious. I'm gonna wait for them to I'm gonna walk around the marketplace and see who opens up and what time they open.
Okay. Everybody opens up about 7. So it looks like all the shops open up about the same time. In town here, there's a couple of inns. I don't have the other ones named yet, so bear with. But there's a couple of inns. There's several taverns, which are basically just the inn without the rooms for rent. But they all kind of basically, at least here, they all kind of seem to be about the same if you check them out. Some basic drinks, some basic food, but nothing fancy, nothing really unique to any of them. There is there's a general store, which has a name that I haven't named yet. But there is a general store, and that's where you can buy anything off of the miscellaneous shopping lists. The miscellaneous shop and the armor and weapons that are in your... basically, general store has all the same stuff you're able to buy at character creation.
Gotcha.
There's a couple taverns. There's a couple inns. You come across the Sylvan Savings Bank.
Oh, gotcha.
So you find it's a fairly good-sized building. That's kind of right in the center of town here. But it's a bank. I have it written up in the rules, so you can check it out real quick. Basically, you can deposit or withdraw as much money as you like, and then they don't charge anything for that, for money storage. They mentioned that if you can find any other, they don't. Talking to the tellers, they're not aware if there are any, but if there are any other Sylvan savings banks existing anywhere else in the world, each of the banks utilizes a special Magitech vault system that links the safety deposit boxes and vaults with every other Sylvan bank. So
how many slots are the banks?
Money doesn't take up a slot, and like I said, you can deposit it or withdraw as much as you like, and there's no charge for it. Vaults, on the other hand, the storage vaults are rented on a monthly basis. You can rent a small vault that holds 20 items for 10 gold, a medium vault for 50 gold, 25 gold that holds 50 items, and a large vault that holds 100 items and costs 50 gold.
Looks like I'll be carrying all my belongings on my person.
But it is a way to get some extra storage. And if you can find any other Sylvan banks anywhere else in the world, all of your stuff is available at any bank.
Gotcha.
So, your standard MMO banking system, to a degree.
All right, just in the next, and then in the intervening 2 hours, I'm just going to kind of mosey around.
Okay.
Chat with anybody.
Yep.
See if I pick up any other quests.
There are. You can find a profession building for each of the core professions: blacksmithing, woodworking, alchemy, leatherworking, tailoring, and cooking.
I'll take them all.
And you find the buildings for each of these. And inside, there's also that's where the trainers for those are, and that's where you purchase any
additional recipes.
Crafting recipes.
Do you have to have the profession to take the quests?
No, but I'll get to those in a second. The buildings have basically the craftsman, and the associating crafting or gathering profession guy as well. So, for instance, the bakery is where you find the cooking trainer. Then there's also it's a bakery / deli, and that's where the cooking trainer is, and the butcher trainer. Go up and start talking to some of the various trainers. The first one you come across is the tanner, and looking at him, he pops up above him. The NPCs, most of the NPCs, when you look at them, above their status bar, you can actually see their name. And he introduces himself as Alfred, and his above his name it says Tanner Alfred. And talking to him, he tells you that he's interested in that he needs to collect hide to craft more items for the town. And you get a quest pop up that says get 10 light hide. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I apologize. These are available only to the guys with professions.
Gotcha, that's what I figured.
So did you have a profession?
I have no professions.
Then no, none of them have anything. They say, well, we want to get some of these, but you need to be skilled in you need to be skilled to be able to go out and gather them. So they're.
Well, what a coincidence! I happen to be a tailor.
All right, we'll get to you.
Going over the tailor.
All right. In town as well, there is also a large building that looks a little more ornate, and it's got a couple of spires to it that are rising up for it. It's actually got one white and one black spire.
Ew.
Does it look temple-y or does it look government-y?
It looks temple-ish. And as you approach it, you realize this is where the magic trainers are.
Ah.
So this is where you'll come to learn additional spells.
Sweet. I do have magic. Let's see if they've got quests.
That's a good point. Let's go talk to the magic people.
They might have quests, but I don't have any at the moment.
Okay.
They tell you, they say, we may have something for you soon. Come back later when you're a little more powerful. So apparently they don't have any level 1 quests.
Gotcha.
And or the GM has been slacking and doesn't have quests for every NPC in town yet.
Silver exclamation point. That's fine.
Yes. But yes, there is an elemental magic trainer and a light magic trainer here. Interestingly enough, you can talk to them a little bit, and you actually get a little bit of information, because you said you were talking to the NPCs some, too.
Correct.
You can actually find out a little bit more information about magic, talking to these guys. They kind of go into this long spiel that's a little bit boring. But the gist of it ends up being that before the Twilight, there were 3 gods of magic. There was a dark god, a god of good, a god of evil, and a neutral magic god. But the 3 magic gods tended to work together fairly often to promote and advance magic and magical research. So they weren't as combative as the other gods of the different factions. And in fact, they were the 3 gods of magic are the one that came together to develop the domes. So they created and they helped the arcane mages erect the domes to save some of the citizens from the rest of the gods' rampages. But it seems that back in the day, magic worked differently. And as he's describing it, basically you realize that magic pre-Twilight was very D&D-ish. You had your different like there used to be priests rather than light mages that got their magic directly from the gods, and what spells and whatever they got were based on what the domains the gods had. And it sounds like the actual magic, spellcasting magic, was a little bit more like your D&D, where you would learn spells and have so many spells you could cast per day and stuff. But all of that went away when, after the Twilight and the domes went up, basically everybody that had the ability to cast magic lost it. And over the last 150 years, they've managed to basically learn a new version of magic. And it's boiled down to basically being able to cast elemental magic and light magic.
Thereby leaving a path for other types of magics to come out in later patches.
Correct. Or, keep in mind there probably won't be more patches at the moment. But there are things that are undiscovered at this point. So not everything is here. But that's out of game. That's out of game information. But I've told you before, you'll discover more as you explore. That's basically it for the town. I mean, like I said, there's other stuff. There are a number of citizens that have quest markers, but most of them are currently grayed out, so they don't seem to be something you can accept. All right, the rest of you guys wake up and head downstairs. It is 8 o'clock. As soon as you wake up, you realize you are hungry, and you have a hunger debuff. You have a -1 endurance.
I will eat however much worth in gold will get rid of the debuff.
Any amount of food, well, basically any meal will get rid of it. So
1 silver.
Yeah, so 1 silver's worth of food.
1 silver's worth of food, sir.
And sign me up too.
All right. Well, they're serving up pancakes.
Hey!
So you
Do
buy...
these taste less mushy?
Nah, less mushy, yes, but again, not great. It's really... Basically, it's kind of very bready, like flavorless bready pancakes, and the syrup's kind of really bland.
Well, I will turn to everyone at the table who is sitting with me, having less than fantastic breakfast, and say, so, how long do you think we're going to be in here?
Until we either fix whatever that the riddles and the quests, or hack our way out, finding some types of exploits. So, ugh.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about exploits, because the thing about exploits is until you figure out what they are, they tend to be rather fatal.
That's why I'm watching other people do it.
Fair enough.
All right.
I think it's like we could try and do this the way that Miss Senior Creepy Voice, we're let's say put rats in a maze kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So either we can run the maze, or we all put our teeth together and chew our way out, and ignore the maze altogether. Depends how we all want to do this.
I'm all for expeditious escape, help by whatever means.
All right. So you guys eat breakfast, chat for a little while, and you don't see Jeff. Besligr appears to have taken off early, which makes sense because he went to bed before you guys did. And after that, you guys can go out and explore the town. You find everything that I told Jeff about. Who has crafting professions?
Yo.
Alchemy.
I have woodworking.
All right.
I have alchemy.
All right. Alchemists. The alchemist Karstair, who is the alchemy trainer, he gives you a quest to gather 10 sandweed. Woodcarver Sarah, gives the woodworker a quest to gather 10 ash planks. Who else do we have?
I am a tailor.
Taylor. Seamstress Ingrid gives you a quest to gather 20 linen scraps.
Any hint on where I could gather these scraps?
The linen scraps. She says you can find them generally on any humanoid monsters. Usually will drop them.
So I gotta steal a whole bunch of gnomish underwear.
Yes, you are now. Yeah, you're a member of the Underpants Gnomes.
I dig.
Sandweed can be found out across the in the desert and sandy areas of Ravensport, around the area here. Desert ash planks come from healthy desert ash trees. Okay. So Sam, did you undertake in blacksmithing? I don't remember. I think you had been talking about it, but I don't remember if you had. Okay, so you can gather ore, but you can't craft yet. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the blacksmith quest is for blacksmiths only, so...